And this is something that I've seen a little bit more, and I was curious as to why I had been seeing it more and more. The theory and behind this, or as something that has been pushed at least a little bit more from some very insightful people, is that the Dodgers can't develop hitters anymore. Or at least there's been a drop-off in production to the hitting development system of the Dodgers. I was curious of that. I keep an eye out on this system, has been following this system for several years right now. I've paid close attention to a lot of these players, and I believe in this Dodgers hitting development system. And what I want to do is, through a series of tweets that I had, take a little bit of a deep dive into this system so you can get a little bit of an idea of what they are doing, where some of this success has been. The Dodgers, year after year, continue to prove they have an elite development system. I've seen many examples with pitching, yet their hitting development staff often underappreciated. Under the leadership of Andrew Friedman, the Dodgers have built an environment conducive of success at the MiLB level. Following this system, something is different and special. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to look specifically at players that have a 125 WRC+. WRC+, if you're not familiar, weighted ones created plus, is right now one of the standards of offensive production. It takes all of the offensive outputs that you have and puts them in a scale starting with 100 being league average, anything above that being above league average. Now, why is this important? Why are we looking at minor league level stats when the only thing that should be important is major league level stats? I think that minor league level stats are still important and provide an important insight. So this is important because having success at the minor league level often is correlated with major league success. Almost every single major league player had at least some sort of success in minor league baseball. Not every single player, but just about every single player that plays Major League Baseball was successful in minor leagues. Otherwise, they wouldn't have gotten the opportunity. Which means if you look at the pool of players that are successful at the minor league level, you're going to see a lot of Major League players right there. And so, thus, accumulating a lot of players who are successful at the minor league level increases your chances, doesn't guarantee, but increases your chances of finding a Major League caliber player and provides a lot of flexibility with potential trades. And these are two key aspects for the Dodgers. If you have a lot of players that have a high WRC plus and a lot of plate appearances, meaning you have a lot of productive hitters at your minor league level, you're putting yourselves in a pool or position where those guys could be Major League caliber players, or very often for the Dodgers who lean a lot into the veteran type of players, that could be the case where you use those resources, the guys that are having successful minor league seasons, and go ahead and trade those guys to another organization because they're being successful and because other teams want to see the promise of the future. So without further ado, let's look at, for the minor league level, we'll go ahead and look at the minor league impact, then we'll look at the major league impact after that. Let's look at the number of players who fit in the categories of plate appearances and WRC+. So this is every single major league team. We'll go ahead and show more if needed right here. For the 2024, hitters with 150 or more plate appearances and 125 WRC+, Dodgers are towards the top with 13 such players. This was stats before the games on Saturday. I did my research on Saturday, so the adjustments hadn't been made quite then. Dodgers, top 4. 2023, the Dodgers had 10 such players. Again, top 5 in minor league baseball. 2022, the Dodgers had 10 players, 250 plate appearances, 125 WRC+, top 5 Major League Baseball. 2021, 250 plate appearances, 125 WRC+. Dodgers led all of baseball with 16 such players. 2019, 18 such players, top in all of baseball. 2018, they had 13 such players, again, top 5 to 9 if you want to include all those teams in all of baseball, or 8, I should say. 2017, Dodgers had 13 such players, again, towards the top 10 in all of baseball. And then you date it back to 2016, they had 11, again, in the top half of minor league baseball. And if you go ahead and look by totals by organization, the Dodgers have had 91 plus such seasons from 2016 to 2023 of 250 plate appearances and 125 WRC plus. That is second in all of baseball by organization. And what makes that even more impressive, if you look at the average first round picks from 2016 to 2023, the Dodgers are 4th worst. And the only reason why the Cubs, the Cardinals, and the Astros have a lower average draft position is because there were certain years where they were drafting first in the 3rd round for various reasons. I'm sure, especially in the Astros case, you can probably guess what those reasons were. So despite having the 4th worst average draft position from 2016 to 2023, the Dodgers have had the 2nd most players in all of minor league baseball that have been the most productive hitters in the game, which means year after year, they're continually finding players that are productive at the minor league level, which one puts them in a pool where they could be successful big league players. Remember, with big league players, with minor league players, almost all major league players had some level of success at the minor league level. Whereas if you have a good pool of those, you either have a lot of players that could be successful major league players, or you could utilize those to get trade pieces. All very important. WRC plus, remember, advanced offensive skill set or offensive tool to measure the production of a hitter, something that teams like the Dodgers lean heavily into. I know the Dodgers have their own WRC plus or analysis that they use. So Dodgers draft towards the bottom, continually produce, whereas a team like, for example, Tampa Bay, they average pick number 19 in the draft 2016 to 2023. They're still productive in what they are able to do. Now, Dodgers consistently see production at the minor league level. Now, that is a testament to their system of development. Now, what is important for this? Let's look at for the Dodgers and for Major League Baseball, 2016 to 2023. Obviously, you want them to be productive big league hitters. You don't want them to have a ton of success at the minor league level and not be able to hit at the big leagues. Let's see what they've been able to do. Hitters drafted, and I tried to remove the players that didn't sign. For example, I believe the Seattle Mariners drafted Adley Rutschman. He didn't sign with the Mariners, and therefore the Mariners should not get the WAR accumulation of what they were able to do. Let's look at position player WAR 2016 through 2023 by major league organization. And if you look, position player WAR, the Dodgers rank 2nd in all of Major League Baseball. Now, we'll get into a continuation of this talk in just a second, but from 2016 to 2023, position player WAR by players that were drafted. This does not include international signed prospect. This does not include an Andy Pages. This does not include a Miguel Vargas. This does not include any of those guys. These are just included with guys that were drafted by the Dodgers organization. They've accumulated since 2016 to 2023, as of before games on Saturday, 34.1 WAR, wins above replacement, 2nd in all of baseball. Now, obviously, and this is something that you have to be consistent of, and this is where some of the complaints have come from, is obviously 2016 unique draft, uniquely good draft. As the Dodgers drafted Will Smith, they drafted Gavin Lux, they drafted Luke Raley, they drafted Zach McKinstry. All of these guys have been major league players, and in the case of Will Smith, has accumulated a lot of WAR. Dodgers get a ton of credit for that. Gavin Lux has accumulated 5+ WAR in his career. Luke Raley has accumulated about 3 WAR plus WAR in his career. They get credit for that. 2016, uniquely good draft. So, let's look at what happened from 2017 to 2023. eliminating the uniquely great position player draft for the Dodgers, which will bring them down the standings quite a bit. We'll go ahead and take a look at this. This is position player WAR by draft team. You can see the Dodgers are right towards about the middle of the pack with about 7.2 WAR. Again, this is exclusively position players that they have drafted as part of their team, right at about middle of the pack, which you could say, hey, that proves my point. That's where I see some of the lack of development for the position players in this system. And certainly, I cannot deny that it is a drop-off in recent years. I don't believe it's as drastic as it is often made to seem. To say the Dodgers suck at drafting or developing position players, I don't believe that's the case. They're right now, with what they've been able to do recently, about the middle of the pack. And what's important about that is all of that with position player WAR that's been accumulated, that includes superstars that were drafted early, like a Bobby Witt. That includes guys like an Adley Rutschman and a Gunnar Henderson, who I know Gunnar Henderson absolutely was a miss by the Dodgers. They had the opportunity to draft him, didn't draft him, should have, but you're going to miss out on those type of players. It includes guys that have been superstar level players or guys that have received more opportunities in their respected systems to succeed, to accumulate WAR over guys that the Dodgers have been able to produce. Every single team is going to miss out on a draft pick that they wish they could have gotten. And certainly you could point to various aspects that the Dodgers have missed out on. But with what they've been able to do, I still believe the Dodgers' track record is still extremely rock solid. So, what are some conclusions with this, which I was only able to include a couple because I ran out of tweets in this thread. One, the Dodgers, despite consistently having the fourth worst average draft position, and you could say that's even worse if you remove some of the years where I think the Cubs couldn't draft until the third round, or same thing with the Astros. They continue to get the best out of their players. And this includes position players at the minor league level. They continue to be able to produce guys that are productive, effective at that level. And that is important because that allows them, positions themselves to either have successful players at the major league level or the necessary trade pieces they need to have this sustained levels of success. So the Dodgers hitting development system, I believe, is still rock solid. It's not perfect. No major league hitting development system is perfect. Yet, I think with what would be able to allow this Dodgers player development system to further reach its potential, one, the guys at the system, the guys at the younger level, don't often get priority at bats. I think it's unique that we see a guy like an Andy Pages go out and play every day. We've seen and had some complaints about a guy like a Miguel Vargas not getting everyday at-bats right now, although I think he's certainly earning it, and he didn't take advantage of his opportunities last year. But other guys in the system, because of the bar of excellence that the Dodgers have, and because of the legacy-type players, the guys that have been in the system for a long time, or the veteran-type superstar players that they've had in this system, they've taken a lot of roster spots for these guys. So even with the limited opportunities that the Dodgers have had, or the guys that the Dodgers have drafted have had, they've still been able to be productive. So when you talk about the hitting development system for this Dodgers team and for this Dodgers organization, I still believe in this hitting development system. I still believe in the talent that they have, and I think their track record of getting a lot of success at the minor league level is absolutely unquestioned.